Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Championship Score Prediction Series. It has been a mental week in the Championship, and before we do get into this video, let's quickly recap what has happened. So, Huddersfield actually won a game, that's surprising. Joe Lumley had an absolute blinder as Reading lost 4-0 to Rotherham. Brad Potts unleashed his inner Paulo Di Canio with his goal against Luton. Sunderland conceded an equaliser to Semi Dieng, QPR's goalkeeper. Honestly, what a mental week, and once again proving why the Championship is the best league in the world. So, from last week, on the week 3, I only picked up 4 points, pretty disappointing week. But for week 4, I did a little bit better, got 7 points there. I did get 2 correct score predictions for week 4. Unfortunately, one of them wasn't Blackpool. If you caught my community post, I left my week 4 predictions on there. Unfortunately, QPR decided to annoy me for the second time in a few days by ruining my predictions. So, unfortunately, I managed to only get 3 in a row for Blackpool, but hey, that's a pretty good run. The 2 correct predictions I got was Stoke Middlesbrough and Sheffield United Sunderland. And I also predicted Norwich to beat Huddersfield. But without further ado, let's finally get into week 5's predictions. Starting off with Norwich versus Millwall. Now, like I just said, Norwich got their first win of the season against Huddersfield. You know, that's a massive hoodoo off the back. And again, Millwall, 2 epic comebacks against Coventry and Swansea. You know, Coventry 2-0 down, ended up winning 3-2. And Swansea, I mean, that Swansea game was mental. Like, 2-0 down in the 93rd minute, and then getting 2-2 because of fucking 2 own goals by Swansea. Like, that's huge. And I suppose it just proves that you can't really write Millwall off in a game. But for this game, you know, I'm predicting another comeback for Millwall, but I don't think they'll get anything from this one. I think Norwich will go 2-0 up, Millwall will peg it back at 2-2, and then Norwich will nick a last-minute winner in added time. And, you know, I think now that Norwich got their first win of the season, they can now start building some momentum and will start climbing the table, and I think they'll get a 3-2 home win against Millwall. Next we have Birmingham versus Wigan. Now Birmingham look pretty good so far this season, you know, everyone's had them tipped to go down, and yeah, they may still go down, you know, it's still early doors, but they look pretty good. And to be fair, you can't knock their performance against Watford at all. What a performance that was there, and they got a very, very good point, which I'm sure they'll be happy with there. For Wigan, they're still unbeaten, which is fine, but you know, they are still looking for their first win, and it's starting to become a bit of a hoodoo now. And going to Birmingham away after the start they've made, you know, if you ignore the Coventry game, they've been pretty good so far this season, and to be fair, I can see them getting another win here. I'm going to back them for the 2-1 home win there. Next is Burnley against Blackpool. Burnley, you know, since that first game against Huddersfield, I haven't really got the grips with the Championship, in my opinion. I mean, yes, like they've only lost once against Watford, but other than that, they've been drawn a lot of games, and you know, like they are playing well, but they just really are struggling to see games out and score more goals. And Blackpool been a pretty inconsistent one so far, which I think was expected from them. You know, a great opening day win against Reading, but 2 defeats in a row. But then managing to pick up a good win at QPR, so you can't knock them for that. And you know, it is like a derby-ish. You know, it's neither team's like main derby, but it is technically derby still. And I think in a derby, having home advantage is going to be massive for Burnley. And to be fair, like compared to Blackpool, their team is so much better than Blackpool's. Let's be real. So yeah, I'm going to back Burnley to getting the win here, which is weird because I've just mentioned about them drawing games and struggling to score goals, but I'm going to back them for a 2-0 home win. Next is Preston versus Watford. Again, Preston, I feel like they're going under the radar a little bit so far this season. You know, they're unbeaten. I mean, yeah, they've only won once, but you know, they're playing pretty well. I think they've got the highest XG in the Championship so far. I mean, again, like Burnley, they're struggling to score goals, to be fair. And Watford, you know, I think they are really off feeling the loss of Dennis and Sarr, people like that. And to be fair, I think both sides will continue their unbeaten run. I'm going to go for 1-1 draw here. I think Preston will be pretty happy with a draw, but you know, Watford need to start getting some more wins, I think. Next is QPR against Rotherham. And to be fair, I think QPR all things considered, they've been pretty underwhelming so far this season. And again, this could just be me being biased, but I think they got a huge get out of jail free card against Sunderland. You know, to be fair, they weren't really offering anything in that game whatsoever. And due to the Sunderland throwing it away, they got a point there, and then they had a pretty disappointing loss against Blackpool in midweek. And yeah, they've exactly been at their best this season. They're good against Borough, but almost threw that one away. And coming against Rotherham, who have been a pretty good start, all things considered, you know, a fantastic win against Reading at the weekend, and a very good point away at Preston as well. And to be fair, I'm going to back them. I'm going to back Rotherham for the away win here. This could end up backfiring massively, but I'm going to say 2-1 Rotherham. I'm going for it, guys. You know, you've got to put yourself out there sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Next is Reading versus Middlesbrough. It's been a weird one from Reading so far this season. You know, Joe Lumley, you know, formerly of Middlesbrough, had an absolute nightmare on Saturday against Rotherham. You know, 3 of the goals were his fault, and the less the better, I think. But then just blew Blackburn out the water and beat 3-0. Like this league is mental. Like, you can lose 4-0 and then win 3-0 next, like, in a few days. It's just pretty mental. I mean, Middlesbrough, I think they've had a pretty underwhelming start. You know, all things considered, you know, pretty good draw against Sheffield United, but probably should have beaten Stoke yesterday. Pretty disappointing for them. And to be fair, I think Reading, I think they'll have enough to get a point in this one. I'm going to say 1-1. Next is Sheffield United against Blackburn. I think this one probably will be the game of the weekend, in my opinion. You know, Sheffield United, you know, dropped points against Middlesbrough. Probably should have won that game, to be fair. And, you know, we'll be happy with a win against Sunderland. Obviously, you know, they weren't outstanding against Sunderland by any means, but probably still deserved to get something out of that game. And to be fair, on the attack, they look pretty deadly. And Blackburn, you know, had a good start of the season, but then they just collapsed against Reading. I don't know what went wrong against Reading, but just absolutely collapsed. And they'll be looking to get back in form. And although I think this will be a good game, I just think that Sheffield United got too much for Blackburn, and I think they'll probably edge a win here. I'm going to say 2-0 for the home side there. Next is Stoke versus Sunderland. You know, Stoke, again, pretty underwhelming start. I mean, again, got to get out of jail free card against Borough, you know, last minute equaliser. You know, they've looked alright at home, but, you know, should be doing so much better. And Sunderland, you know, I think we made a good impression so far this season, but just silly mistakes are costing us points. You know, it's weird because if we hadn't been making these silly mistakes, he could have easily been top of the table. Which I know is like, oh yeah, if me fucking and had balls would be my uncle type shit. I know, I get that, but to be fair, if we're not conceding the last minute equalisers against Coventry and QPR and not getting stupid red cards against Sheffield United, we would have had 2 wins and a draw easily. And to be fair, I think with Stoke, I mean, like I said, they've looked better at home than away. But, you know, something, you know, like, although we're Plymouth 10 men, didn't lose on last night, we did have I think we've got the heart, we've got the desire, and I think we will nick a win here. And I might just be riding off the high that we've had a really good game against Sheffield United, but I'm going to back us for the 2-1 away win. Now, again, this could bite me in the arse. Like the QPR one, but I'm going to say 2-1 Sunderland. Swansea versus Luton. I'm not really expecting much out of this one, if I'm going to be honest. You know, both sides have made pretty slow starts. Swansea again, that game against Millwall was just fucking hilarious. That's one way of putting it, I suppose. And to be fair, like, Luton haven't really scored many goals so far this season. Both teams, I'm not really expecting anything out of this game, to be fair. I'm going to say 0-0. Just not really expecting anything here. West Brom as a whole, you know, this one's a tough one to call, I think. You know, they've been pretty underwhelming, West Brom, so far, you know, albeit they had a pretty difficult start of the season, you could say. The new creative players are doing stuff, but, you know, West Brom, you know, at the back, the strikers aren't putting their way, and yes, DK is injured, so you can't really ignore that. But, you know, to be fair, against Hull are full of surprises so far this season, and, you know, I was really tossing and turning for this one, but I do like I am liking the theme of making quite outlandish predictions so far. So I'm going to back Hull to beat West Brom at Hawthorns, which is mad because, to be fair, I don't see West Brom losing at home much this season at all, but I think Hull could just nick a win here. I'm going to back Hull for the 3-2 away win. Sorry, Albion fans, but I'm going to back the Tigers here. And finally, we do have Bristol City up against Cardiff. Now, Bristol City finally got the first win of the season against Luton, which, again, like with several teams going to be massive hood off the back there. Cardiff made a decent start to the season so far. Very happy with a draw at West Brom, I'm sure. I think this one could be a pretty goal fest, and again, like Burnley Blackpool, I think having home advantage might just help us Bristol City out in this little derby game here, which is why I'm going to back them to get a 2-1 win. It's a tough one, like, to be fair, I think, but like just like West Brom Hull, I can see this game going in all directions, but I'm going to back Bristol City for the 2-1 home win there. That's it for my predictions. I'm going to do a little something new here. My mate Ben, he's been mentioned before. He's doing his tips for the weekend. So I'll put it on the screen now. He's playing Arsenal to win versus Bournemouth, Port Vale win against Burton, and Watford win versus Preston there. And if you do decide to use these tips for whatever reason, and you are gambling, please, I know that this video isn't sponsored by a fucking betting company, but please fucking gamble responsibly. I know you probably don't want me hearing that by a fucking 18-year-old on the internet, but please be smart with your money. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you want to see more, do leave a like and subscribe. And also turn on the notification bell. Cheers guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.